Holy crap. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We picked up 10 freaking horse off that, man. Hopefully this looks okay with the lighting. What's up, guys? I'm next to the Banshee. I'm about to do some work to the Banshee real quick. I'm gonna change out the water pump, put a bigger impeller on it. I'm gonna change out the transmission fluid, put a fresh set of plugs in it. I'm gonna lower the air pressure in the tires a little bit. And then we are taking this thing over to a local dyno to see actually what this thing makes power-wise. I got a little thing that I wanna talk about here. Yesterday's video, because this is the day after I posted the haters video, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was just trolling. I'm not sure what this thing makes power-wise. It literally was just a title for a freaking TikTok video that it blew their minds when I put a theoretical horsepower number on it. So with that being said, my actual goal for this Banshee, to see what it's gonna make, I think it's gonna make right around 120 wheel horsepower. But there's also another thing we have to keep in mind here, is that this is going on an automotive dyno. I'm taking this over locally. Mr. ZAJAC, good buddy of mine. We're gonna toss this on the rollers. He is taking off for the rest of the week, so he's gonna let me go over there and I get to run this today. So we're gonna take it over, but it's an automotive dyno. And the big difference between the automotive dyno and a real ATV dyno is that automotive dyno rollers are about 5 times the size of ATV rollers, right? And then what happens is it takes a lot more inertia to get that going. You know, it's gonna take a lot more power to get that moving, which this shouldn't have a problem turning the rollers. I'm just not sure how accurate the dyno reading's actually going to be with an automotive dyno, but I'm really curious and I'm really interested to give it a shot, and I'm doing my own tuning on it. So it's a win-win situation. We get to see what it makes. We can play with some jetting on it and maybe even some gearing and tire pressure and stuff like that. And then we'll see what it does. I'm not looking for a top speed run because these tires are way too freaking small to do a top speed run. I gotta have some real tires on this thing so she can stretch her legs. Because currently this thing probably only does like 90 miles an hour with those small tires on the back. So with that being said, I'm gonna get to work. I'm not gonna show the work pulling the clutch off and stuff like that because I show you guys that kind of stuff all the time. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this done quick. I'm gonna load it up and then we're gonna head over to toss this baby on the dyno. And then also, I have somebody over in the background here who is not expecting me to do this. Wasabi, bro. What you doing, broski?
Well, I'm taking a nap while you recording, being quiet.
You got cameraman Wes over here taking a friggin' nappy poo under a 04 Duramax. Junk, bro. Junk. This is like I was telling you guys in some of my other social medias. This is like a side hustle. I parse some of these trucks out and stuff like that. Do a little bit here, a little bit there. Wesley happens to have off for the holidays. And so he's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna come over and give you a hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Get some shit done, get the fucking garage cleaned out so we can get more shit in.
Yep, maybe next week we'll do some hoon shit on the quads for the subscriber raise, huh?
Hopefully there's enough snow on the ground to do some donuts.
Oh, I know, bro. Oh, dude, it is snowing out. That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Typical PA, man. Yeah. Oh my God. We gonna play. Throwing the cyclones on and doing some pulls. Oh yeah, baby, let's get it. All right, so I wanted to take a quick second and show you guys the differences between the water pumps while I have this apart. So here's the 392 setup that was in that drag Banshee last year, right? And you can see the water pump I upgraded on this one. This is from the 472 Super Cub originally. And you can see here, this is raised up off a little bit, right? And so you can see the one in the 521 here is flush. So this is a wider impeller, and it also comes with this really cool Chariot billet cover. You can see the cover's really thick because it allows for that added space of the water pump. So this is what they call a high flow impeller. So we're gonna pop this case off real quick, swap this impeller out that'll run the coolant through faster. And then there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about really fast on the Banshee. So the fluid looked exceptionally well There was a little bit of metallic in the automatic transmission fluid because that's what I run. I run ATF +4 in this thing, and I change it out like every 2-3 rides, which is standard practice. So with that being said, the clutch plates look great. Everything in here looks great. Primary drive gear looks amazing, which I am ecstatic about because these primary drive gears typically will basically kill themselves with anything over 70-80 horse in time, right? So it doesn't have to happen right away. But I don't see any significant wear that should cause us to have any issues with this in the near future. But that will be an upgrade very shortly. I'll be doing the straight cut primary gears on this. And then there is some metallic in it, but not a lot. You can see there, like the, oh, let me get a good focus here. Now, there ain't really much there. But the problem I'm having is the bike's in neutral right now. I know you can hear that. And then watch this. So that's forward, right? Forward. So something inside the transmission is not allowing this to go into neutral all the way. I remember when I was bench testing this, I had a problem with this in neutral. The drum was pushing itself out a little bit because I didn't have the clip in. And so once I put the clip in, the gear would then stay in between the dogs and everything, and it would go in neutral really easily. What I'm thinking happened is the springs got weak and this needs to come apart. But this will do good for the dyno runs. I don't need neutral for dyno runs. It's literally going on the back of the pickup truck. I'll leave it in the pickup truck, take it to the dyno. It's snowing crazy out today. We'll get to the dyno, unload it, and then I don't need neutral to do dyno runs. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the one running it on the dyno. And so I know how to do this without having neutral. So I'm not concerned. I have a clutch, right? But we'll get through this, and then sometime over the winter I'll have to tear this back apart. And I'm probably gonna upgrade the trans and do like a billet trans. I'll just flip the motor upside down and pull the bottom case off. And then we'll upgrade to a billet trans and some straight cut primary gears, and then this thing ought to be good to go for a long time. So, all right, let's get her going. But we're gonna do a quick sesh here.
Oh, but it is now.
Oh, it is now. All right, guys, so we are on the way to the dyno. I got Wes here, he's coming with me. We loaded the Banshee up in the back of my crappy old plow truck, and we're heading down to the dyno. So I wanted to talk really quickly about yesterday's video because I'm really confused and sort of disappointed for a couple reasons. One, did you guys actually think that this was a real dyno sheet? That's a legitimate question because there was like 90% of you guys that thought it was real. I tried to make a bunch of things on it that would be clear indicators that this is a fake dyno sheet. I mean, come on, guys. I freaking photoshopped this in like 5 minutes on Adobe. Real, dyno, fake. I mean, I put fake words there. Real, that's not how you spell real. It's R-E-A-L. Dyno is D-Y-N-O. Fake is F-A-K-E. But only like 2 people I saw picked up on that. So I was genuinely curious if you guys caught on to the joke, to the comedy side of what I was trying to do, essentially. You know, you can see in the first one I put 3,000 RPM, and the second one I put 10,000 RPM. So yeah, like I'm trolling, guys. I'm freaking trolling here because I don't think that it's cool to pick on somebody because they guesstimate the horsepower. You know, like there is 521s out there making 140 horsepower. Do I think mine's gonna make 140? No, especially with having a transmission issue and whatever else could be going on that I'm unaware of. But I do think we're going to be able to lay down some solid runs, and we should see somewhere in the neighborhood of like 120 tire horse if the automotive dyno doesn't rob any power from us. So I think that's a good realistic goal we can shoot for. We'll see what happens, right? What do you think, Wes?
I think she sounds like 120.
I thought she sounds like, yeah, exactly, bro. I don't care what anybody else says. I think that sounds like 140 horse Banshee on the takeoffs. But whatever, man. Anyways, I'll see you guys at the dyno. dyno. I got invited this week to come out and put this thing on the dyno. Thanks to all the haters hating on this thing. It is an automotive dyno like we talked about earlier, so we're not sure what's going to happen with the numbers, if they're going to be, you know, any different or anything like that. So we're just going to run it and see what happens. Contact information is in the description below if you guys have any interest in utilizing this dyno. Nescopec PA roughly is where we're located. So you know, feel free to reach out below. He does a lot of turbo, nitrous, you know, full-blown X275 cars. You know, it's an automotive dyno, not an ATV dyno technically. So it's mostly automotive stuff, or I should say all pretty much. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get to some dyno runs. We're gonna get this thing warmed up quick, and we should be good to go. So check this out, guys. First base run, Pig Rich in the middle of winter. She already made 80 horse really friggin' easily. I'm about to lean this out just a little bit. I'm gonna go down like 5 sizes on the jets here because I know she's Pig Rich. I'm gonna put a fresh set of plugs in her and we'll see what we can get this up to. All right guys, so check this out. Dyno run number 2. We picked up 11 horsepower off that jetting change. We went from a 178 main, stayed at 5 degrees advance, and then we came up to a 188, 190 in those, and then it picked up an immediate 11 horse pretty easily. We're gonna pull the plugs out, see if it's still on the lean side. If not, if it's just starting to come in a little bit, we'll probably add a little bit more fuel and try and get this up just a little bit more yet. So, not too shabby for an automotive dyno. All right guys, so run number 3 was a little bit different. We actually dropped 4 horsepower, but I'm talking to John here and we're looking at this power curve and this thing is so much more smoother. You can see this was the old run and this is the new run, and you can see we are, you know what, almost 10 horsepower more throughout the entire curve. But the peak blip here, and we're not exactly sure what happened here. We had some sort of blip. But this thing held the power pretty good all the way up through until I let off. So we're gonna check the plugs quick and then we may start adding timing finally and see if we can get that number to crest. Start out without any nonsense this time, Banshee, eh? All right, guys, I believe that was the fourth run, right? That was our fourth dyno run. We picked up a whole lot of power. We took the timing from 5 degrees up to 7, and you can see we went from 87 to 96. And she sounded so much cleaner that time, and I was really happy with that pull. She revved right up. You could see the power's very linear all the way across still, and you can see we gained so much more power all the way through that power curve. So now we're gonna turn it up to 10 and see if we can blow the pistons out of the head. For good reason too, you know. Shut up, Wes. All right, guys, last run, we tried 8 degrees. We tried 10 degrees first. 10 degrees netted us 2 horsepower loss, got us down to 94. And then on this very last run, we tried 8 degrees and netted us 95. So our peak power is 96 at 7 degrees. So the 8 degrees though, it did help early on. You could see here, we gained, what would you call it? Probably like 2 horsepower up through the entire curve, all the way up to here. Okay, which I don't have the RPM up, but that I'm gonna say that's roughly 8,000 RPM because we don't start the pull until 5, 6. So 5, 6, so this goes to 11, halfway through. So yeah, we gained 2 horsepower all the way up to here, boom, and you can see that kind of mirrors it all the way through. And going from 10 to 11 did not help the power. The power starts to drop off about 9,500. So all in all, pretty happy. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, so before we end this video, let me tell you something. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. What'd you guys think of those dyno pulls? Pretty sick, right? All right, guys, let's talk about a couple things really fast before I log off this video. So, number one, we have a different straight cut gear set coming in the mail for this primary drive assembly, which will change the output of this motor power just a little bit. The rear tire size is extremely small, and we will be changing that for the next dyno run. Number 3, we ran out of main jets. 200 was the largest size that I had with me, and this thing is still lean. I'll show a picture of the plugs here. Just at the very bottom of the electrode, we could see a tiny bit of color coming in. Not enough in my opinion. I do still think we had about 10 to 15 horsepower on the table just in jetting yet. We got the power up to 96.13 horsepower. I got a legitimate dyno sheet now, so the haters can all bug off. So she's a 100 horse bike with, you know, just a bone stock 521 setup. Guys, this thing has literally nothing done to this 521. There's no porting, nothing special going on here. It's literally just a 1 through 5 override with a lockup clutch and a 521 kit off BP Racing. I did not do any cleanup porting, nothing like that. It's race gas domes, 20cc domes, that's it. Boyce and Reeds. So we should change to V-Force on the next one. That will gain us some power. Up in the jetting will gain us some power. 7 degrees was our best timing curve, so I definitely don't want to change that at all. The straight cut gears and the rear tire size and the sprocket sizes will all help us on the next dyno runs, and so that we can get closer to our 140 horsepower mark. I believe that once we do those things that I just talked about, this thing should easily be a 120 horse bike. And then I'm taking a jug of methanol with, and possibly a nitrous kit, and then we're going to see if we can get this thing to shoot a rod through the block. So, with that being said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys. Now it's time for me to go steal all my kids' gift cards and spend them on the Banshee. He's a mean one, Mr. Grinch.